Good morning and welcome. I am Susan Burns, Vice President for Academic Affairs here at Clarke University, and I am pleased to have the honor of being the first to welcome you to this year's Convocation and tree planting. Today, we officially recognize the start of the 177th academic year of this great institution. As we begin this morning's ceremony, we remember that we join together as a Catholic institution in God's name. I invite Father Dustin Vu, University Chaplain, to the podium to lead us in the invocation. Please stand as you are able.
Let us pray. God of all creation, God of love, we come to you as a Clarke University community at the beginnings of this academic year, seeking your guidance. Strengthen us with grace to live out the Clarke core values. May we abide in charity, spreading your love to all we encounter. May we promote and live in justice, recognizing each person as a sacred member of your family, and remembering our responsibility to all creation. May we live in authentic freedom, the freedom that calls us to recognize and follow your holy will for us. May we value the gift of education, an opportunity most in this world do not receive, one that allows us to foster within us the gifts and talent that come from you. Given the foundation of these values of charity, justice, freedoms, and education, may we then go forth to build life of integrity and respect. We ask all this to Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father Vu. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium the 16th President of Clarke University, Dr. Tom Chesney. Tom?
Thank you, Susan. At any other convocation, this is when I would ask you to indulge me in a picture from my scrapbook, Twitter, and Instagram. This year, however, is unlike any other year. But I think the world of social media deserves to see that even under pandemic conditions, Clarke University traditions are adaptable, resilient, and will live on. So let's do something a little different. Take a moment right now, wherever you are, to snap a picture of where you are and with whomever you are taking in the convocation. I will do the same. Share your picture on your favorite platforms with our classic hashtag Clarke. Let the world know how we plan to be Clarke strong all year long. Now, we already know this will be a year of mask up, back up, and wash up. Yet in the midst of all that, I would ask each of you, what will you undertake that COVID-19 cannot take away? Maybe you will set a new personal record for grade point average or average points per game. Maybe you will paint a portrait, take a fast from Fortnite, or sing in the shower and in a Clarke vocal ensemble. Maybe you will decide that it just isn't enough to talk about social justice and then choose to become more of an upstander than you are a bystander as this year unfolds. For some of you, this will be a year of firsts. Voting in your first presidential election, living in your first room that is yours alone, taking your first online class, dyeing your hair a new color for the first time, or attending Mass in Sacred Heart Chapel, even if you're not a Catholic. You and we will do all these things and many more at a time when many people will doubt whether we can or should be doing them. Although my given name is Thomas, I am not the doubting kind. And I believe we should take great care in preserving not only our health and safety, but also our obligation to learn, live, and work together for the common good. Welcome to the new year at Clarke University. May it be everything you would expect, even as you accept the unexpected.
Thank you, Tom. You've inspired us to continue to keep tradition where tradition needs to be, and we appreciate that tremendously. Each year, we are honored to have the most recent recipient of the Clarke University Maneve Dunham Award for Excellence in Teaching to present the Convocation address. This year, that faculty member is Jennifer May, faculty member in the Physical Therapy Department. Dr. Jennifer May is a professor and chair of the Physical Therapy Department at Clarke University. She has taught at Clarke since 2004. Jen earned a Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy from Bradley University, a Master of Health Sciences with an emphasis in neuromuscular rehabilitation from University of Indianapolis, a Doctor of Physical Therapy from Clarke, and a PhD from Nova Southeastern University. She is a board-certified clinical specialist in neurologic physical therapy. Jen teaches content related to cardiopulmonary and neuromuscular physical therapy, as well as research. Her research interests include integrated clinical experiences, balance, and educational methods, including the integration of technology into the classroom and high-fidelity simulation. She has presented research findings on these topics at the national level and through written publications. Jen previously served on the board of directors for the Academy of Physical Therapy Education, APTE, as chair for the Academic Faculty Special Interest Group. She was a voting representative of APTE on the Education Leadership Partnership, whose purpose is to drive excellence in physical therapy education. It is my absolute pleasure to invite Dr. Jennifer May to the podium.
Good morning, students, faculty, and staff. My name is Jennifer May, but you can call me Jen. I'm so excited to be here, and I'll admit, a bit nervous as we embark on this new academic year. How was your first week? Anything memorable? Are you wishing you weren't wearing a mask this week? Let me tell you a little bit about my first week at Clarke back in 2004. I'll never forget it. I was in Catherine Byrne Hall. I squatted down to pick up a box, and my pants split open. Yep. And so I definitely wish I had a mask that day, but the thing is, I really didn't need a mask. And I just want to say thank you all for wearing your masks as we're doing this. People at Clarke still accepted me for who I was, even though I felt very embarrassed in my first week. So as I talk to you today, I'm going to focus on 3 takeaways, and I'm going to encourage you to take action on all 3. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself, my family, and my journey to Clarke. I grew up in a suburb of Cleveland, so I still love the Cleveland Indians, the Browns, and the Cavaliers. My dad, Steve, owned his own business, and my mom, Mary, stayed at home with me and my siblings. We were all born in different decades, and from this picture, you can see them holding my sister back, and then she backhanded my brother right afterwards. And so, as many of your parents have done, we also were taught to work hard, follow our dreams, and they made sacrifices to help us. We've landed exactly where we've wanted to in things that we love to do. I'm passionate about teaching in neurologic physical therapy. My brother, Steven, creates videos that are on the Jumbotron for the Cleveland Indians. And my sister, Courtney, who's a Clarke alum from the nursing program, is now a nurse practitioner at the Cleveland Clinic in the cardiac intensive care unit. Some of you may have followed a similar journey to me. I went to college 8 hours away in central Illinois, so I couldn't easily get home for the weekend. I jumped into college with both feet and embraced being part of that community. I met my husband, Steve, on my first day of class, and we had chemistry together. The class as well, I guess, maybe romantic later. And for those of you that are paying attention, yes, my dad, my brother, and my husband, all named Steve. So I majored in physical therapy, he majored in electrical engineering. We often joked about how much time people in our major spent at the library. He proposed at graduation, and we just celebrated our 19th wedding anniversary last week. We have 2 children, Joe, who's a sophomore at Waller Catholic, and Sammy, who's in 7th grade at Mazzucchelli Middle School. I started my journey at Clarke in 2004. Steve grew up here in Dubuque, and I swore I was never gonna move here. And then I found the job at Clarke and said, honey, what do you think about moving back to Dubuque? So in this picture, this is my 2004 ID picture. It's still my ID card, and look at how excited I was to be here. Steve has been my biggest cheerleader and has helped me stay sane through 3 postgraduate degrees, and especially now through COVID. Which brings me to takeaway number 1, find your support system. My family has been my biggest support system, but I've also found great support in colleagues and friends. Thank you for all of those that sent text messages to me. You knew I was nervous. Thank you for being there. Not all family is blood related. Find your support system. At Clarke, I'm a physical therapist, an educator, and a researcher. One of my favorite things to treat in the clinic and to study is balance. How can we prevent patients from falling? How can we teach them to keep their balance? Okay, I need everybody to stand up, and I actually have people in the room, so I'm expecting you to stand up. You guys can do it in your classrooms as well. All right, so while we're standing, I want you to try to sway just a little bit. Normally, we use our ankles to help correct our balance. If our environment moves, we may use our hip strategy. And then if you're really pushed out of your comfort zone or out of that base of support, you're gonna take a step. So what I find with my patients is as they get older, they're more fearful of using that stepping strategy. And so I train them to take a step outside of their comfort zone. You can be seated. The same is true in life. We can stand still, we can try to adapt to our environment, we can go without moving and see what happens, or we can step outside our comfort zones. Several years ago, I took what I would call a yes year. I took advantage of every professional opportunity that I had. Some I liked more than others, and in fact, some I wish I hadn't said yes to. But I grew so much in the years that followed. Good or bad, it led to leadership opportunities at a national level and has helped shape me into the person I am today. The same is true as you begin your college career. You can stay in that basic stance without doing much. You can sway or move and respond with the hip strategy, but I challenge you to use your stepping strategy. Step outside of your comfort zone. Consider joining a new club, a travel opportunity, leadership opportunities. In this year especially, I challenge you to reach out to your professors. We are struggling at the front of the classroom to know if you're understanding behind those masks. Our virtual office hours, we're not seeing people stop by our office like we normally would. Please reach out to your professors via email, via Teams, and make that connection. We want to see you succeed. Sometimes stepping outside of your comfort zone may be saying no. Knowing your limits is important to maintaining that balance. You may be juggling class time, and actually in class today we were juggling for motor learning. Out of class time, you may be practicing in labs, you may be studying at the library, you may be practicing instruments, working in the studio, prepping lessons for student teaching, managing work commitments, practice times, game times, travel, entertainment, or more. I will admit I struggle at times at keeping my own balance as far as what activities to have. so it takes constant practice. Sometimes stepping outside of your comfort zone comes from having difficult conversations. Clarke has been striving towards creating inclusivity in classrooms and on campus. This week, you may be asked in your classes to participate in more discussions as part of a nationwide movement referred to as #ScholarStrike. Be open to hearing other points of view. Which takes me to takeaway 2. Find balance, but don't be afraid to take that step outside of your comfort zone. This can come from saying yes, or saying no, or just being open to somebody else's perspectives. What have you found that you love at Clarke? For me, it's the people. The colleagues who are there to help celebrate when you succeed and are there to help when you're facing a challenging time. Thank you all for being there for me. The students, the excitement that they have for learning, the messages that they share, like, oh, I saw this connection to something you taught in class. We love hearing those messages. Send them our way. And even just the smiles you have as you hold the door as we're coming through the different classrooms or through the lobby. I love seeing students engaged in opportunities at Clarke. The clubs, the sports teams, and all these friendships that you're going to develop. One of the things that I have found at Clarke is that although it is small, it offers opportunities that I would not have had elsewhere. I think as students you will find that as well. Leadership opportunities in clubs or in the classroom, the ability to connect with your professors, to participate in sports, to display your art pieces in the gallery, to perform on stage, to pray in Sacred Heart Chapel, to perform in Sacred Heart Chapel or here in Jansen, to cheer on the Pride, to visit Mary Ellen in the atrium, the ability to complete research, and participate in immersive experiences in your major. Or maybe it's something special from the cafeteria. During quarantine, dining services even posted the recipe for funfetti cookies. There are lots of options to find what you are passionate about in your time at Clarke. This leads to takeaway number 3. Find what you love about Clarke. Share your passion with others. So in closing, we have 3 takeaways. Find your support system, find balance, and find what you love about Clarke. I started today by saying I hope you will take action on all 3. First, contact your support system. Tell them thank you, I love you, tell them something, and don't be afraid to reach out to them when you need support. Use your own stepping strategy. Step outside your comfort zone. Will you find balance by having coffee with a new friend or by joining a new club? Will you find balance by saying, thank you for the offer, I'll have to join you next time? Or will you find balance by listening to other people's perspectives? And finally, share what you love about Clarke. As many of you are watching in the Navigator classrooms, I encourage you to share something you love about Clarke with a classmate. If you are struggling here, find the opportunity to create it. This may be the start of future clubs or engagement activities here at Clarke. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. I hope you find Clarke to be as special as I do.
Thank you, Jennifer, for those inspiring words, and welcome to our new Clarke community members. Together, I challenge us all to take the actions that Jen suggested we take today to be a part of this One Clarke, One Community. For our student response, I welcome the president of the Clarke Student Association and member of the class of 2022, Tucker LaBelle, to the podium. Tucker.
Good morning, Clarke University. As Susan said, my name is Tucker LaBelle, or as many of you may know me, the tall kid in the lacrosse team. I'm the CSA Executive President and member of the junior class. Much like Jen, I also call the great state of Ohio home. And also like Jen, I found a new home away from home, nestled in the hills of Dubuque, Iowa. This is the home we all know as Clarke University. If you ever would have told me I would end up at a school in the state of Iowa, I promise I would have laughed. After all, Iowa is all just corn, right? I was happily incorrect about that. Iowa is a wonderland full of amazing people and dreams, a place of true natural beauty that is also home to what I would say is the best school on the planet, our little Clarke University. This place we all know and love needs our help to remain beautiful. Not only do the people of Clarke need us, but also the great state of Iowa. Coming into this school year, a quote by the great Abraham Lincoln continued to swirl around my mind. "A house divided against itself cannot stand." The more I wondered about this quote, I saw a new meaning emerge. We are the generation of change. We are the generation to prove what's right and wrong. We are the generation to lead. This quote means something far bigger now than ever before. We, as the Clarke community, are the house and family that I see among this quote. The enemy is that of hatred, racial injustice, and a pandemic that has become far too normal of an aspect of our daily lives. We cannot let this division come between us. Clarke was built on love and acceptance. It was built on being one another, understanding, and education. Clarke is our house, and we are the family. To combat these great evils we face, we must be loving, accepting, and band together. While those masks may not feel so comfortable class after class, they represent something far greater. They represent us caring about each other and working together as one to get through this pandemic. While you may not understand someone's frustration or anger, try to see their side. Educate yourself and listen to what they have to say. We are a family, and family works together through the toughest of times. We have no room for hatred or disregard for one another's health and well-being. We are the change. When this is all said and done, I want to look back in the history books at this little university among the hills of Dubuque, Iowa, and know we did it right. I want to know we had each other's backs, and most importantly, I want to know that we prevailed through the hardest of times as one. One Clarke community, one big family. We are Clarke, and we are the change we want to see in the world. Thank you, and roll Pride.
Thank you, Tucker, for your remarks and for inspiring us all to know that we are surrounded by leaders of action and change, and I'm honored to be part of that One Clarke, One community with you in service to that change. Now, I welcome Jackie Moss, Justice Heinhold, and Anthony Capelli to present the musical selection, Neue Frühling, from Vorlieder, Opus 27, by Franz Lochner. thank you to our musicians for that beautiful gift of music. Today, we celebrate a tree planting that began on campus in 1906. To provide additional history on this Clarke tradition, I invite Professor of Philosophy, Norm Freund, to the podium. Norm?
Good day, everyone. Recognition and reflection, friendship and faith, challenges and change. These are the rhythms which have drawn our community to this event for well over a century. Today, we celebrate the dreams, efforts, and achievements of the 2021 graduating class through the naming of their royal red maple tree, which they planted on the Kiel campus in September of 2017. We also celebrate the hopes, dreams, and ambitions of all our new students who will plan and dedicate today their bur oak, which will be located behind Mary Josita Hall near West Locust Street. Our tree planting tradition was begun by our first university president, Mary Bertrand Foley, a BVM sister, in the spring of 1906. These plantings are an affirmation of the lives and vitality of our graduates, as well as a living testimony to their university studies and accomplishments. Each class names its tree in a manner befitting their era and experiences while at Clarke University. Now, in a period of COVID-19 and social unrest, it seems like the times in which we live pose challenges and threats like never before. However, many class trees from the past were dedicated during times of stress and turmoil. For example, the class of 1918 was suffering through both a flu pandemic and World War I. They named their elm Woodrow, after the president leading our nation at the time. During the depths of the Great Depression, the graduates of 1935 defied the harshness of their age by naming their tree Amaranth, which is Greek for unfading. And while the world held its breath, teetering between fascism and freedom in the Second World War, the Clarke graduates of 1943 confidently named their white birch Nike, after the goddess of victory. At the height of the Vietnam War, in 1968, Clarke seniors named their tree Quixote, after Don Quixote, who dreamed impossible dreams of hope and optimism. Closer to our own time, Clarke graduates stood firm against our country's war in Iraq, when in 2003, they named their red maple behind Mary Josita Hall Francis, in honor of the patron saint of peace. Lastly, the class of 2004, whose sophomore year was punctuated by the attacks of 9/11, named their honey locust near the pit parking lot Hero, in remembrance of those who lost their lives that day. For more than 100 years, we have planted and named trees in honor of our graduates. Some have been planted during good times, and others during very challenging times, just as those we face today. The young tree planted today, as well as the trees for the graduates of 2022 and 2023, await the discerning of their names in the years to come. Like the students they represent, they have grown strong and true these past few years. Trees display life, which is resilient and steady, enduring the changes of seasons and the challenges of time. May all graduation trees planted on our campus, challenging era or not, bear witness to the giftedness of our students and their aspirations in life for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Norm. Now, I invite Sammy Brookins, a senior class senator from the class of 2021, to bring forward their name and tribute to their tree that will remain on campus as a symbol of their time at Clarke University.
I remember the day back in 2017. The air was warm, sky was blue, and we all stood gathered around the planting of our class tree. The red maple tree is placed in front of the Keel Center and has a small bird feeder on one of its branches that reads 2021. From that day back in 2017, the start of our freshman year, to today, the start of our senior year, never would I have thought that we'd end up here amidst a pandemic, experiencing quarantine, and all the other protocols that COVID has given us. Although this may be challenging for us, the class of 2021 can push through anything and be successful. In honor of Convocation, the official start of the academic school year, the name of the senior class of 2021's tree is Corn Tree. Thanks.
Thank you, Sammy. How appropriate. How wonderful. For new students, the new young tree you will plant today becomes a symbol of your progress and growth during your years here at Clarke University. At Convocation, your senior year, we will celebrate your success and transformation at Clarke as you name your tree. You will notice that for the ceremony today, we have donned our academic regalia, or attire. One component of the academic regalia is the academic cap, that includes a tassel. As we recognize and welcome the new members of the Clarke community, each new student will be presented with a tassel. The tassel you new students will receive today is similar to the one each of you will wear when you earn your degree and walk across the stage at another Clarke University ceremony, commencement. New first year and transfer students, because our faculty members who teach Compass Navigator classes work with you as you make your transition to life at Clarke University, it seems most fitting that they will be the ones to bestow this honor on you. I encourage you to put this tassel in a special place, in your room or on a bulletin board, someplace where you can see it. I hope you will recognize it as a symbol of the goals you wish to accomplish during your time at Clarke University. May this tassel remind you of your special place in our university community and inspire you to reach your goals. Navigator faculty and new students are gathered in classrooms to watch the live streaming of this ceremony. I invite the faculty to present a tassel to each of your new students. Once this is complete, representatives from our new students will join us in Jansen Music Hall for the tree planting ceremony and bring tributes for the planting of your class tree. Joel Leach, Assistant Director of Facilities, will assist you, and Hunter Derazette, Director of Campus Ministry, will bless the tree. Thank you to all the faculty, staff, and students for participating in this virtual convocation and tree planting ceremony today. Best wishes on a successful academic year. May we stay strong as one Clarke, one community. Now, as a sign of a community joined in purpose, Tucker will lead the students in reciting the Clarke University Pledge. Tucker, please come forward.
Students, please rise as you are able and join me in our university pledge, which can be found in your program. please take note that the words of this pledge have significant meaning for the issues we are confronted by today in our society and world. And so we begin. To reach for the star of faith in the ultimate goodness of humankind. To work toward a universal hope for social, racial, and economic justice. To open our eyes and hearts in the Christian spirit of love to all those whose lives we may touch, and to seek peace in all the world, we pledge our lives.
Thank you, Tucker. This concludes our convocation ceremony today. Our tree planting ceremony will begin shortly after new student representatives have made their way to Jansen Music Hall for the ceremony. The tree planting ceremony will be live streamed momentarily. Once the tree planting is complete, please watch for the recording of both the convocation and the tree planting ceremony online. Thank you.
I invite representatives of our new students to come forward to bring a tribute to the tree. Following the tributes, Joel Leach, Clarke Assistant Director of Facilities, will assist students in planting the tree.
Am I good? Yeah. Right here. My name is Melvin Seha, and for our group, we talked about home, growth, and roots. And when we think of Clarke, we think of a home. I remember when I first got here, everybody was just so welcoming and treated me like family. And I'm pretty sure the teachers here would like to see our growth, see us become from young adults to adults by the time we graduate. And us as students will plant roots into the school.
My name is Brennan Ballou, and my group came up with this. Roots are important because they provide a foundation which takes nutrients to help the tree grow, just like we take knowledge and experience and grow ourselves. Without roots, the tree would fall and decay.
My name's Brinley Ward, and our tree tribute is roots are important because they can represent how people can start from something so small, a seed, and make something so extraordinary that provides so much for others. It's also a symbol of strength and always knowing where you came from.
My name is Reed, and our group came up with the quote, "The roots are where you come from, but the branches are where you grow."
My name is Josiah, and what our group came up with was the fire of rapid change challenges our roots while giving us room for growth.
My name is Tyreek, and my group came up with roots are important because they help give us a strong foundation upon which to build a confident sense of self and a basis from which to successfully grow and succeed.
With my family, we came up with our dreams and our future. These roots will symbolize our connection to Clarke, our home. Like this tree, we will grow and flourish.
I'm Kayla Grumman, and our group said roots give us the foundation to start something new, shape our future, and grow as individuals.
My name is Garrett Egan, and my group's thing is, as we begin to transition through our journey of growth, we will rise from the roots of the soil and spread our branches in order to reach out for change and become that change in which we are meant to receive and give out to the world.
Hello. I'm Jacob Schoen, and our class came up with this. Clarke is a community in which people bring their roots, faulty or enriched, to grow and flourish under the guidance of the common good and BVM core values. These roots are family ties and history, but you can always branch off and have your own way of life.
I'm Nicole McDermott, and my group came up with, we feel roots are important because they are unique and need time to develop and form a solid foundation, just as we need time and strength to learn and grow to be ourselves, to be unique.
I'm Cassie Grady, and our group came up with, we value the roots of trees because they provide the strength needed for possibilities of new opportunities and embracing new life in the midst of adversity.
I'm Mackenzie Baker, and our group chose, like branches of a tree, our lives may grow in different directions, yet our roots remain as one.
I'm Jenna Blunt, and I'm from Group 2, and we said, our roots give us a support system and ground us so we can see how much we've grown.
Hi, I'm Raj Putis, where I'm Group 5. This tree that we are planting today will represent our class. As the tree grows, taking in all the nutrients, in return giving nature oxygen. We too will take in the knowledge and in return give back to our community. No matter how much or how far we branch off, our roots here at Clarke University will stay.
Thank you, students. Today, we celebrate the gift of growth and life this tree represents. Let us join together in the traditional blessing for trees found on your screen. Please read with me. May the axe be far away from you. May fire be far away from you. May there be rain without storm. God of trees, may you be blessed. God of life, may we and our world be blessed. Now I will end our tree planting tradition today by blessing the tree with holy water. This will conclude our tree planting ceremony. Thank you.